Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Do you want to get an extra mark and an extra edge over other aspirants in the UPSC civil services examinations? Then this channel is for you. Without any delay, let's begin the video. Yeah, a new tiger reserve was in the news. In UP, there is a new tiger reserve has come up, which is Ranipur Tiger Reserve, and we have to revise what are all the existing tiger reserves in the UP. Uttar Pradesh, there is already Dudhwa Tiger Reserve, Pilibhit Tiger Reserve, and Amangarh Tiger Reserve. And important wildlife sanctuaries are in UP, Kishanpur, and Katarnia Ghat. And recently, Kalanamak was in the news. It's a rice, which was from again UP. Okay, next one, GCC countries, Gulf Cooperation Council countries. You can see the map here. These are the countries. The green ones are the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. What is important here is Yemen is not a part of it. Iran and Iraq are not a part of it. If any question comes with to identify the Gulf GCC countries, you have to remember Iran, Iraq, and Yemen are not a part of it. That's how you can eliminate them. Right. Next one, C-295 aircraft was in the news. C means carrier aircraft. You can remember like that. And recently India is planning to manufacture it locally, domestically in India. And originally it was from Spain, not France. You should not confuse it with our Rafale aircrafts. Rafale was from French. Here C-295 was not from French, it was from Spain. This is a tricky question here. And B-52 was also in news. It's a bomber aircraft. It's a US aircraft. It was in the news. B means bomber. You can remember like that. And Dinocus radiodurans. What is it? It was in the news recently. It's a microbe. It's a bacteria actually, which could survive in the Mars. It was in the news. So you have to remember Dinocus radiodurans means it's a bacteria. Yeah, these are few of the important points for your main answers. Stubble burning. If any question comes on environment or impacts of stubble burning, you can quote this. In a end of it, in the conclusion, instead of concluding with some vague points, we can conclude like this. As a case study, one case study is Chhattisgarh model, where the Gautam's model is famous, where they are collecting all the stubble and converting it into a biogas. So we can follow this in Haryana, Delhi. You can recommend like that. And another important initiative took by government is Pusa decomposer, which is a fungus. If you put stubble in it, it will decompose it. These two you can write it in the conclusion part. And in GS3 there is food processing industries topic. I'll give you some points related to it. You can write it in the exam directly. Why food processing is important is the price the farmer gets after the food is processed is much more than the original product. Let's say tomato sauce is costlier than tomatoes, right? That's why food processing is important. Another importance of it is the contribution to the GDP is much more. In the agriculture, if you see, the contribution to the GDP from food processing is much more, and it is increasing consistently than the agricultural increase or agricultural contribution to GDP. You can start answer with this point. Out of overall production, only 2% of the food is processed. We are processing only 2% of the food. But contribution of food processing industries to GDP is greatly increasing than the agriculture. Right? You can start with this point. And what are all the government initiatives taken for food processing? So these are all the initiatives. Sampada Yojana, Mega Food Park Scheme for modernization of abattoirs. Abattoirs means slaughterhouses. Slaughterhouse means where we get meat, right? Those are the things. And FDI is allowed 100% for food processing, right? And another concern area is 60% of the food processing industries are concentrated in the primary processing. Again, what is primary processing here? There are two types of processings in food processing. One is primary and another one is secondary. Primary is converting the raw food material to eatable food. Let's say paddy. we are converting it into rice. That's a primary processing. We get paddy from the farmers, clean it, and then make it convert to rice. Or packaging fruits, rice flour, tea and spices, where we get the raw material and we convert it into this form, right? And we resell directly in the market. This is a primary processing. 60% of our Indian food processing is concentrated in this. What is the issue here? Imagine we are converting the tomatoes into tomato sauce. The value addition is much more. So that is the secondary processing part actually. That gives us much more money, much more value, but we are concentrating mainly on the food primary processing, which is not as profitable compared to secondary processing. That's why we should concentrate more on secondary processing, which is value addition also. That's the end of the video. Over and out.